Happy New Year, guys, and this is actually my first video of the year. I'm hoping this will be my shortest video, uh, and majorly I'll be talking about consistency and creativity, and that's C and C. We're talking about consistency and creativity. So some weeks ago, while I was driving on the road, I saw an abandoned building, like a Mr. Big's abandoned building. Going no problem. So I began to think about it. Mr. Biggs was the hottest eatery in Nigeria at some point, and if you are not going to Mr. Biggs, you are not like balling, you are not like chilling. And I saw Mr. Biggs all packed up, bushy, not in use anymore. And I start to think about it, how consistent you have to be relevant in life, in any field you find yourself. Not only about eatery, it applies to every field. Now, let's see the gadget aspect. At some point, Nokia was like the most sought after brands, phones and all of that. At some point, most sorted brands around the world, like device, not like even in Nigeria or Africa alone. And then last year, I think the CEO sold Nokia to Microsoft because they were not making enough sales and all. And when he was talking, he said he didn't know where they got it wrong. At some point too, Nokia tried switching. Started this Android thing and all of that, and they couldn't catch up. So in as much as you are trying to be consistent what you do, you have to add creativity, because a lot of people that are behind you are watching out for your weakness, and they are trying to work on it and try to get better. Just like when Symbian phones were raining with Sagem and all of those things, people are looking at the weaknesses, people are looking at the flaws, people are trying to look at what people want that you are not offering yet. And that takes me to, Apple, iPhone specifically. iPhone has been relevant since they started. And this is not even about starting iPhone. It's about iPhone has actually been has created the standard from the start. And for once, they have never rested. Rested in the sense that every year they come up with a different idea, different design, something huge and big and better. So in as much they are even making the sales, they are trying not to stop. In as much they are making the money, they are already watching out for what the customer really need, what the complaint is, because loads of competition are in the market, small dogs that wants to take over. Do you understand? iPhone started with doing the one camera and the flash. After a while, that they realized that okay, other small phone companies started copying all of those things. They started the double camera thing or the three camera. When they now made the 13, and this was conversant every year, coming up with new ideas, creative mind and consistency, not leaving break, because that break can make somebody else catch up. Then they came up with this camera like their opposites, like that, now. Yeah, now. They came up with that camera too. And then next year, they're already trying to market what they want to do, how they want to get bigger. They didn't say that because they were big already, they started relaxing, or they are not, coming up with new ideas. This applies to everything we do. Even, what's it called? There's somebody that sells akara in this city. He calls it akara suya. And, the person just realized that since everybody is like frying the akara normally, why not I had dry pepper and onions and stuff to give it that spice. And if you start this thing over a time, people start to copy you. So you have to see what you can add again to make you stay relevant. It applies to every aspect of life. So it is not about your consistency alone. You have to be creative. And Mr. Biggs that I was talking about, now the most trending eatery in Nigeria right now is Chicken Republic. And I'm sure one of the major things they aimed at was looking at the flaws of and the mistakes of the past ones. Now, Chicken Republic sells franchise, but gives you a standard you have to keep up, so they don't have to say they own all of the Chicken Republic in Nigeria. But they'll tell you that you have to put this in place, this has to be in place and all. They check out for the what could cause mistake. And over time, they watch out for customers' mistakes, where things are lacked and where they should do better. So this will help them get better. And of course, in any field there are always small dogs that are coming up with creative ideas. People coming behind they're always mounting high pressure, because when the passion is high, people from behind, would want to do it. Just applies to every other place. Like, oh, I was looking, Fela was my mentor, he gave me the motivation. But people coming behind will want to like take over, like go beyond what you have achieved. See the music industry too. When Wizkid and Davido blew up, tens and hundreds of artists have blown. Have blown after Wizkid and Davido. But what has given Davido and Wizkid the relevance? Consistency. They didn't say because they are the top. Okay, where's Dami Crane? Where is Chudi K? Where is Danny Young? Where is even Terry G? Terry G is talented. No one can argue that. But how consistent and creative is he? How is he making up teams that PR for him, that does this and does that? It's about looking for what people really need, or else they will overtake you no matter how great you are. See Ronaldo and Messi, the argument has been there for over 12 years already. But they didn't say because I won the Ballon d'Or, they are now relaxing. No. There's Mbappe and Haaland, they are trying to take over his record. And there's this Osimhen who scored the first 100 goals. These are records that Messi did not meet. For people behind, you have to keep your relevance until you know that you are retiring from what you have done, or you are taking a bow out of it. You have to put your relevance in. It applies to everything. It applies to just the music I spoke about, the football. So it's about being consistent and be creative. It might take a while for you to take a step backward, to watch from outside, to think from the spot of just a regular viewer that does not have an in-depth idea of what you do before you understand and try to be creative. An example of people that sell cars too. When you sell car at first, people just park their car. No. But over time, you realize that, oh, what if I sponsor this thing? What if I try to push it online? What if I say, okay, when you get me a buyer, I'll give you a percentage. Now, this starts to apply in every, it doesn't even apply in car business alone. I'm just using that as an example. It applies to every sphere of life. There are people that are ahead of you that if you get more creative than them and you are consistent, you can overtake them. So in the few points of today, I just want to tell you, okay, I said Happy New Year before, and this is my first video of the year. And I hope you understand one or two, but you have to understand the relevance and the value of C&C, which is consistency and creativity. It depends how valuable you hold these two things is, how valuable or how relevant you become in the society and in the field of your study. When you talk about tech, there are people that are, geniuses a few years ago. Now, a lot of young kids and, Wizkid, the young chaps are overtaking the people that have been there with more ideas, more creativity, more codes and unexpected things. And you'll be like, this is beyond what I've ever seen before in my life. So get creative and get consistent. And I hope the year offers us more blessing. And 24, make sure that you don't fall, because before 40 is 39, so don't fall. So make sure pay of 40. All right, guys, blessings, one love. Thanks for always coming through regardless. I suppose take this cap off, but waiting the back for loud gone.